Hey there, and welcome to That's Audacious, where we share entrepreneurial stories from amazing leaders to inspire and motivate you to be bold, brave, and audacious. I'm your host, Lauren Clement, the brand navigator, here to share stories that will make you say, well, that's audacious. Hello and welcome to another episode of the That's Audacious podcast. We have an extraordinary guest with us today, the fabulous Marissa Candy of The Marketing Factory. She's been in the media and marketing industry for over 20 years, doesn't look like it though, and is a highly successful and accomplished professional who understands the issues that businesses face. She's been key to providing insights into contemporary issues and the strategies to drive growth and sustainability with the businesses she works with. And she understands the ever-changing customer needs and how to diversify your business in today's very overwhelming economy. Marissa, it's awesome to have you on the podcast. I know you have a podcast of your own, so I feel like I'm turning the tables on you a little bit today. So tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get into what you're doing?
Thanks, Lauren, for having me today. It's great to actually be on someone else's podcast instead of my own, actually, for a change, which is nice. Getting started in marketing, you know what's really interesting? I didn't even know what marketing was when I first got into the industry. I started at Stockland Shopping Centres back in my early 20s, and I worked for centre management. And there was a marketing department, and I frankly didn't really know what marketing was, and I didn't even know what the purpose of centre management was either. You go to the shops open their doors, like, why is there a need of centre management? So it was all this great big learning curve. And whilst I was there, I was under the wing of some really incredible people, namely a few women, and that really supported me, saw something in me and said, you know, I think that you'd be really good for this marketing role. And I was like, you know, back then, what is this marketing role? And so I started learning. They paid for a lot of my education and that to learn more about the theory of marketing. So I went back to university as a mature age student and studied the theory of marketing and learned what marketing practice was all about in a very traditional sense. We are talking late 90s. 2000s here, okay? So we're going back. It was before all the digital stuff. This was back when we had to do campaigns that were clever and different, and we didn't have the immediacy that digital allows us to have now and reaching millions of people potentially within the click. So it all started back then. And I didn't know what it was, but the more I learnt about it, the more I really wanted to understand and learn even more. And I guess you could say that it aligned pretty well to my personality in being able to get out there and want to promote things. And really at the heart of what I love doing is helping people. So I love being the solution or finding solutions to people's problems. And at the core of marketing, it's really what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. There's something to be said, isn't there, for having those mentors as a young person who've been there, they've been in the trenches and they see something in you that you might not see yourself, which is phenomenal. I've had those in my life as well. And I love the fact that we both come from a traditional marketing background before the internet, so some of the foundational knowledge that we have, I think it's a little bit sad. It's sort of been lost on the way with that, as you say, that immediacy that you can jump into an app and create stuff without really thinking about the process of what impact this is going to have and how it's going to be sustained. So the Marketing Factory is quite innovative in what it does. Can you explain a little bit around your point of difference and what makes you so successful at what you're doing?
Well, Lauren, you know, just between you and I, we kind of delve into the unsexy side of marketing. It's what we do really well, is the unsexy side. But, you know, I'd really want to be able to make what we do a little bit more sexy, and that is strategy. For me, it's, as you just said, it's so easy to go bolt out and create an ad and, you know, try to gather attention. We roll all these sorts of things around digital marketing into marketing, but not many stop and think, why am I doing it? Who is it for? And what outcome do we actually want from this? So Our main point of difference, I believe, is that we really focus in and hone in on strategy. What does that mean to people? What's the strategy word you keep talking about, Marissa? Like, having a strategy means having a plan as to what you're actually wanting to do, who is it for, and what you want the outcome to be. So working on the unsexy side, the strategy side, working then on a plan and then executing that plan. We've got an incredibly talented creative team head up by our head of creative, Malia, that's been with the business for over 11 years, which is amazing. So under her guidance and her very particular and meticulous characteristic that she has, she makes sure that creative consistency is upheld. On top of that, the other thing I think that makes us a little bit special is that we look at a business holistically. When a business comes to us, we don't just look at their marketing, and we might, people say we want to, run more ads, or we want to get more, website visits, or we want to be positioned as a leader. We really look at the entire business, because every single element of a business has an impact on marketing. Whether it is their signage, whether it is the way their business looks or smells, in a sense, and their people, whether their team know it, like it or not, every person in that team has a role in marketing, and they contribute to marketing. So we can run the flashiest ads and say that, we're offering this great offer with this bundle or this discount. We're the best, we're the premium. And you rock up to a business, or you go to transact with them online and they have a horrible experience. What's that customer going to do when they get that choice again on buying something in your category? So I think that's what makes us special. We focus on the unsexy side that we like to think we make sexy, and we also look at a business whole, not just one part of marketing. I want to know what the sales team is up to, what the operations team's up to, what's front of house doing, because I know that all of those things all together is going to impact the result that we get from our marketing efforts.
It strikes me, Marissa, you've touched on a really interesting point here, that the big issue is most business owners don't actually understand marketing, which is where you and I both came from, and we had to learn it, right? As you say, at the elbow of our mentors, going back to university, working in big advertising agencies or big companies. So we've had the luxury, if you like, of learning how marketing actually works and the performance of the business based on how you position and market yourself. But no business people really get to learn that. So do you think that's really the core of most of the problems? It's almost too easy to create marketing today. Whereas before, there were these big barriers to, you only had TV, radio, press, outdoor, and a bit of direct marketing. You had to take the time to make sure that the strategy was right, because there's a lot of money to spend to get yourself on TV for it to not deliver any results. Whereas now you can create your own TV channel for nothing on YouTube. You can create your own podcast. You can do it's really low barrier to entry. But because of that, there's very little strategy that's actually considered. And people just go, oh, it sounds right. It looks good. But like you say, how is front desk going to handle that when it comes in the door? So do you think, how do we deal with that in terms of business going forwards, especially for small businesses who don't understand marketing?
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything you've just said. And the role of digital, as it has evolved over the last 5-10 years, it has been then fallen automatically in the hands of our young people, the younger generations. Started with Gen Y, now Gen Zs. So it's falling into their hands. They aren't necessarily trained in these roles that they've been gifted by business owners, because the business owner doesn't actually understand what marketing is. Perfect example is that we recently started working with an incredible new client, and they said, oh, yes, we have someone that looks after our marketing in the team. And then when I actually meet them and ask them what do they do, you find out that they're actually a graphic designer and don't do anything in marketing. And so business owners don't actually know how to distinguish the difference, because now there are so many different areas of marketing that you can specialize in. There has been an elevation of people in roles, in my opinion, that are these, you know, the younger generation. I say that I'm a Gen Xer myself. I kind of say, making myself sound like a dinosaur here. So, but, you know, the younger generation that were good at being active on social media. And so then they were like, oh, you're doing a really good job on social media. You know how to work that Facebook thing. Would you put together some posts for us on, you know, on our business page and do a bit of that? And off they go and they do it. And it might look great, but again, it's not attached to any kind of strategic outcome. So we have, I believe, in Australia alone and globally, that there is probably, I don't want to say millions, but I'm going to say millions because it's exciting. Millions of people in marketing roles that are underskilled for the actual role that they're undertaking. But don't worry, because we're going to come up with a solution, Lauren, because again, like I said, I like to help people. So we're actually going to be developing a solution so that we can help bring up that standard, bring up that level of knowledge and awareness of marketing, because it's what we're passionate about. It's my giving back now as being, I guess, a mentor to many, a lecturer at uni. I know where the bottlenecks are and the unawareness of business owners. So we will be launching 2026. Get ready for the Rebel Marketing Club, where at a low-cost monthly entry, you can join me for a monthly lesson and a Q&A every month for a very minimal cost. So stay tuned to that. So that's one way we're impacting that. The other way, I guess, you know, we have governing organisations, but there's no critical even minimum standard that you have to meet for being a marketer. I'm a certified practicing marketer myself, a CPM, similar to what accountants have. But in accounting, it's kind of like you must have these minimums before you get the job. But in marketing, we're not there yet. We've come a long way in marketing. I've gone from the girl who colours in things and blows up balloons to being a more respected role where it's actually you look towards, instead of, you know, I think, you know, 20 years ago, marketing was seen as, oh, we've got to take this amount of money off the bottom line and put it in there. Now businesses and smart ones are looking at that. What do we have? How much can we invest? Because we know for every dollar that we tip in to marketing, we're going to get a whatever $11 or more return for every dollar we put in. The smart ones are doing that, and they're the ones that's winning and scaling and increasing their turnover consistently.
And that's the secret, isn't it? I mean, in reality, the issue is if you don't have someone who really understands how marketing works doing your work for you, you don't know what the results are. You don't know where the results are coming from. And all of a sudden something works and no one knows how, and no one knows what it was that worked. And it's just, that's the ROI. And we know this, ROI in marketing is getting harder and harder to create. So I love the fact that we're talking about, hey, let's get back to basics and think about the purpose of the marketing itself and how your company is going to leverage the crap out of it. Otherwise, you're just throwing money at the wall. You are listening to the That's Audacious podcast. If you like what you're listening to, please like and subscribe. There are lots of different places you can get our amazing podcast on all the channels. Just search for That's Audacious. Now, Marissa, let's talk a bit more about your achievements. What's one of your biggest achievements or things you're most proud of?
There's a lot of things in life that happen that you're proud of, I guess, you know, and with my children and milestones and overcoming certain challenges and rebuilding the business after downturns with COVID, and it affected our industry and it affected us. And I wasn't the person I am today back then, but we can only go forward with what we've got. So this interview is very timely because big career highlight, bucket list, dream of every little marketing girl or boy would be what? You know, maybe see your billboard, see your face up in Times Square. Well, could probably be up there. So that happened. And winning an international business award, a gold one, not just gold. We came home on a recent trip with you, and congratulations to you as well, Lauren. You're very humble in all of the awards that you've collected this round as well as other rounds. So, you know, you're doing a great thing for industry, leading by example as well. And for us, this was a career defining moment to be acknowledged for the unsexy side of marketing and the strategy, but we got the result, we got the return, the campaign we put forward to win this gold, if you can see that in the screen, hand that way, that this Gold Stevie Award, working with a client we've worked with for over a decade. They trust us. We know what we've done over the last 11 years, what's worked, what's missing, what can we do next? And they came to us with a simple problem and we provided a solution, and we rolled it out for one practice portfolio for Urbano Healthcare, and then it went across the Trans-Tasman. So it was an exceptional result. And in business, you sometimes think, oh, gee, that's really cool. That's a really good thing. And we've entered awards before and we've been up against the big guys like the Telstras and the Ergon Energies. And when I get there to those awards, I'm just like, oh my God, here we go. We're not going to get any recognition for this little old, I was based in North Queensland, and little old North Queenslander here trying to compete on a nation stage. And we went to New York and we come home with a gold medal and, some other friends as well. Like, it was just incredible. And you helped us create that, Lauren. So, you on your mission to making people stop, it's very aligned with us, and to stand out, because we don't realize some incredible things that are being done by incredible people that are average, everyday humans. Oprah Winfrey is an average, everyday human. Like these people that we put on these pedestals just because they get more airtime than us, they are no different to us, and we can achieve, and you can achieve whatever it is that is your goal, your dream. As a little girl, I dreamt of being on a stage. I thought I'd have a microphone in my hand and being a rock star. That's what I really wanted to be. That didn't happen. But here we are, still on the stage with a microphone. Thank God for everyone in the audience. I didn't sing. So, things can really happen if you, and one of my favorite things I like to say is that if you do enough of the right things consistently, success isn't possible, it's inevitable.
Yeah, absolutely. And you deserve every accolade for that work that you did. I mean, I know you had the client for a very long time, and it's evidence in itself that the work that you do works, because why else would the client be with you for such a long time? But as you say, often it's a joy for me to be able to shine a light on the extraordinary people like yourselves and the team at the Marketing Factory, because you are delivering those results. The category you went for was achievement in marketing, and you can't win those sorts of categories unless you've actually achieved something. So to be able to cleverly put together a strategic campaign that not only answered the client's concerns, but it over-delivered in terms of profitability and turning those businesses around was just extraordinary. So you've already had some outcome from that as well. What have the awards done for you?
And well, the impact of winning those awards are immediate. Immediacy, again, in this digital world, you have the opportunity to reach millions of people at a click of a button. And as soon as firstly, we kept the content going. So it's one thing to get there. You've got to take responsibility for generating your own content. Now, we've all got our own media and we hold it in our hand and we carry it with us every single day. I know a lot of people don't like it, and filming themselves, and that, we are limiting ourselves. We're creating this barrier between yourself and your success. But we created a lot of content. We posted a lot of content while we're away. Our reach just went through the roof with, I don't know what the percentage, the hundreds of percentage increases that we got in our reach. This is all organically. This is all organic reach. Because we were in the US, the percentage of the US people that were visiting our pages, exploring our content, had an immediate increase. Not only that, I open my emails, I look into my calendar, and we have got bookings in the calendar for people wanting to talk to us, find out more information, and potentially become a client of the Marketing Factory. So we've got about 5 really good discussions that we're going to be having within the next week with businesses. Again, we have not gone after them. We have just been consistent in posting, in bringing people on to this story, to this journey. I think people, again, in marketing, storytelling is such a massive part of marketing. People don't necessarily buy into what you sell. They buy into why you sell it, why you do it. And I think we stop. We don't want to potentially always show ourselves in a vulnerable position, in an unprofessional position, in behind the scenes, when that stuff is what is being absolutely eaten up online. People cannot get enough of the behind the scenes footage that we created. So yeah, we did what, I like to say we eat our own cooking, and we kept the content rolling and came back to booked calls. We've got a dental practice in the US with a couple of locations. We've got nationwide chains. We've got a lot of people with acquiring new businesses that want to review their marketing. It's very broad. We couldn't be more excited, couldn't be more proud of the team. And one thing that really does amplify things for me is, I was away for that week, whirlwind week with you, Lauren. The winds were blowing us down the street in Times Square at bloody 0 degrees. And the business, the Marketing Factory, it didn't miss a beat. It kept growing. The results, when I've got back to the dashboards of the clients on what the team achieved. And so that's a really big kudos to the team, to the system, to the software, to the unsexy strategy that we have put in place to enable that to happen. Things didn't all fall apart just because I wasn't there.
Yeah, brilliant. I love that. It's the secret to sustainability, isn't it, in business, is the ability to grow and keep managing without the added stress. Marissa, this has been a fabulous conversation. We could talk for hours, but I want to ask, and I know if you're listening to this podcast and you heard that Marissa has her own podcast, I encourage you, if you are in any way, shape or form involved in digital marketing, graphic design, marketing or promotion for your business, or you work in a company that's your role, go and listen to the Marketing Factory podcast, because she offers some incredible gems. They're very short episodes. They target really key issues and problems that people have with very, very clever and simple solutions. So jump onto that podcast. But I'd like to ask you, Marissa, if you could go back to any point in your life and give yourself some advice that maybe would help you for where you are today, what would that be?
Great question. And, there's a few things. But if I had to name one, because we are on a time limit, Lauren, and we could talk forever, I don't want to steal Nike's tagline, but I'm going to kind of, and it is just do it. Whatever that thing is, just do it. I still struggle with that, just do it, because being, we are in branding, we are in marketing, we do strive for perfection, but perfection really is a big barrier to launch. And we don't get paid for what we know or the great ideas we have. We get paid for what we execute and we implement. So in business, it's the other thing. We are here to make money. We are here to support our lives, the people's lives we bring on board this journey, the clients that pay us well to do what we do. So at the end of the day, we need to, if I could say to myself back then, just do it earlier than what I did, who knows where we would be now. I wouldn't change anything though for the world. But if you're thinking about starting something, if you're thinking about, maybe should I enter these awards? Maybe should I talk to Lauren? Stop overthinking and just do it. Because what's on the other side of that when you do it could far exceed any dream, any previous goal you've ever had. And once you've climbed to that mountaintop and you look and you see the view from up there, my God, your goals change, your perspectives change, everything becomes greater. You want to shoot further. For us, it's now, You know, we're up there, we're on the top, we can see the stars, sky's the limit for us now. We want to grow even more and have an impact, a global impact, because we really want to help more people. And we think that we have a solution that we can help a lot more people than what we currently are. And we look forward to sharing that with everyone.
Funny as well, Marissa, when you get to that point of success and you look back, you go, what on earth was I worried about? You know, it's so bizarre, isn't it? But we do worry and we overthink things. Marissa, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast today. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and your story. You and the team deserve every accolade. And I can't wait to see you guys continue to shine. And remember, guys, be bold, be brave, and be audacious. Thanks so much for listening to the That's Audacious podcast. Remember, there's no place for modesty in business, and you do deserve to be well known, well paid, and wanted. For more episodes, please subscribe to the podcast on your favourite channel or follow us online. The links are in the description below.